Hi everybody, here's a quick video to show you how to take through Design Space this new SVG to cut this lovely keepsake box with overlays to all faces and trim to all edges. It's a box with a hinged lid. The lid is probably a little bit less than a third of the depth of the whole box. All the edges have rolled edges like this, so it's lovely and strong. It really is a strong box. It is, on one of these pictures, there's the dimensions. Yeah, so at the size I've designed it, the box is about 24 centimeters long and it's 11 high and 11 deep, which in inches is 9.4 inches long and then 4.3 inches deep and tall. So it's a big box already, but I think you could make it even bigger, and you could definitely make it bigger if you can use longer paper and the long mat. Okay, so let's go to Design Space and see what happens when we bring it in. So it's a big SVG, and I did wonder about splitting it up into 4 separate ones, but you would need to bring them all onto the same mat anyway if you wanted to resize anything. So I've decided to leave it all in the one SVG file, and there is a lot in it, as you can see. And also another point I wanted to make, since the last update to Design Space, we've got that recurring problem where large canvas SVGs like this are not coming in at the right size. But it's not bad that it's happened, because it gives me opportunity to show you the instructions that you get with all my multi-part SVGs like this with score lines. So you do get a PDF of really detailed instructions. If I just scroll down, you can see that you get a page, a step for every single part, really a detailed photographs, lots of text with them. And you get this front page, more importantly. With an SVG like this, I think it's quite important, this part. So you get a diagram of what the SVG looks like, and every part of it is labelled, so that when I mention a piece in the instructions, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, you can go back to the diagram and compare it to the pieces you've got on your table and make sure you've got the right piece. It looks complicated, it's really not. There's loads of repetition with this project, in that the lid is made in exactly the same way as the base, so you're just making the same thing twice really, and then the overlays are dead easy, and the edging is too. So even though it's quite complex in terms of the pieces, the actual method of assembling it, there's a lot of repetition and you'll soon get the hang of it. But the reason I wanted to show you these, when I was talking about the size that the SVG comes into Design Space, because this issue of SVGs occasionally not coming in at the right size after various updates to Design Space, I think it's happened about 6 times in the last 2 years, and it's happening again now. I always put this in all of my instructions, and it tells you the size that the SVG should be when it lands on your canvas. So, and I ask you to check this before you start every time. So your SVG should come into Design Space at the following size. I'm in Europe, so I'm using metric sizes. Width 111.01 centimeters wide, so it is huge, more than a meter wide. So we'll just go back to Design Space, and we can see that it's actually brought it in at 73.56. Goodness knows why. I think it's probably something to do with fitting it onto a long mat or something. Anyway, we go into the width box in the size menu here, and we type in 111.01, making sure that this padlock here is locked, which it is if all you've done is drop the SVG onto your canvas. And then we don't type anything in the height box, we just hit return, or we tab over to that box just to get over there automatically. And you can see, did I choose the right number? I'll just make sure. 111.01. Just not sure if I typed that in right. 111.01, yeah, and so it's automatically set the height to 102.31. So we'll just check that back at there. 102.31. Perfect. Right, so we can get rid of those instructions now, we don't need them. And now we know that the SVG is the right size. You don't usually have to do this with most of my SVGs. They come in at the right size. And further down the road, I'm sure this one will too. But just following the update, it's not doing. But it's easy to change yourself, as you can see. Okay, so when you drop it onto your canvas, it comes in and it's automatically selected. I always have my layers panel open here on the right hand side. I'm on the desktop version for PC, so it's quite easy to keep that open all the time. But the first thing you're going to do is ungroup it. And when you do that, it gets rid of the overall group, and then you can see the two subgroups in it. In my cut files, there'll always be two groups because to make it easy to convert things, all the scores are always in that very first one, and all the cut pieces are always in that second one. So the first thing we'll do is we'll select the cut pieces group and we'll just ungroup it. So you can see that that spreads out now to show you all the individual pieces in the layers panel. And then we're going to select this top group, which has all the scores in it, and we need to convert them. So you select it, go to your operations menu, select score from the drop down. You can see that they've changed now, and then while they're still selected, we're going to ungroup them. So now everything on canvas is a separate piece, and we can attach scores to the individual pieces that they relate to, even these tiny little hinge pieces and the tiny little vertical edge trim for the front. Do everything separately, and that means you've got the most flexibility when it comes to moving things around on mats and maximizing the use of your card. So we'll just zoom in a little bit on these so we can see what we're doing properly. I won't tell you what all these individual pieces are because as I just showed you with the instructions, all the pieces are labelled, so you won't have any trouble. So to select one piece and its scores, click on canvas somewhere near it, drag a box to enclose it, and then attach, which for me is at the bottom of the layers panel there. And we do need to do this for every piece on canvas that's got scores, and that's a lot of pieces, so just be patient and methodical and make sure you get them all. You don't have to select the whole piece. You can sometimes just go over the cut and the score like that, and it selects everything, and there it is attached. So like that, you just need to touch on the edge of it. And to speed things up, now you know what I'm doing. I'm attaching it. I'm going to use Alt-A on my keyboard, which is just a little bit faster. So that's what I'm doing, selecting it, and then I'm using Alt-A just for speed. Right, so on the, as you will see in your PDF instructions, all these pieces on the right hand side, so all these here, they are for the lid. And then all these pieces here, they are for the base of the box. So we'll just zoom in again on these pieces here. Do the same thing. And I'm using Alt-A just for speed. But again, it's attach is the command. Select the piece and its scores and attach. Oops. And now for these edging pieces. This box is based on a similar design to the Minecraft chest, if you've seen that one. The sort of way of constructing the walls is the same. These are just obviously in different proportions for this keepsake box. Did I get it then? Yes, I did. And these pieces down here, the green pieces, they are the overlays, so there are no scores in those. Okay, so if we click Make It, I don't need to save it this time. You'll see that we can choose A4 for all the overlays, and I think we can probably, yes, we can for this as well. So this whole project, even though it's a lovely big box, you can make it from A4. And as you can see, if you use 12 by 12, you could go a little bit longer, and if you used A3 or tabloid in the long mat, you could make a really, really big box. You just need to make sure that you were making it out of card which was strong enough. But right, so we've chosen A4. So at the design size, it comes into design space, you would need 3 sheets of A4 or, let's just, letter. Yep, 3 sheets of A4 or letter for the overlays. Can we cut these from letter? Yes, you can cut the box from letter as well. And if you did that, so it's 10 sheets in total, 3 of the 7 7 sheets of letter to actually cut the box and the trim. When I make my boxes, I make the inner box. If I can just go back to a picture and show you what I mean. And let's find one that's open. Those are just some different versions of it that I made. Yes, I make the inner box and all the outside trim in the same card. And then I do the overlays in a different one. But you could, if you wanted, make the inner box in a different colour and then the trim in another one and then the overlays in another one. You can just use what you've got really and the kind of look you're going for. If I could, no I won't. I was going to try and show you the Minecraft one where I've actually got one made in 3 colours like that, but we won't confuse the issue. Right, so yeah, so 13 sheets in total, 10 sheets of letter for the box, 3 for the overlay. Let's see what happens if we choose A4. I think it's a little bit more economical. Oh no, it's the same, exactly the same. 10 sheets of A4 or 3 for the overlays. So what would happen if we were using 12 by 12? We'll just have a quick look at that. 2 sheets for the overlay. 8 sheets in total, 2 taken off, so 6 sheets of 12 by 12 if that's the size you were using there. I actually cut my basic boxes out of A3 and I think I needed 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, 3 because, hang on, 4, 5, 6 and then these bits that are on 7, we would select both of those, choose move and it will, let's have a look. 4 sheets. It'll go on that one there, I think. So just move that out the way. Spin those round. Holding the shift key down there so that they spin around and sort of lock in that straight position. They will just squeeze there, look. Put that back where it should go. Zoom in a bit. Yes, that's fine. I'm just going to nudge that over a bit with my arrow key. So yeah, 1. Let's click OK. Continue. Yeah, 4 sheets of A3 if that's what you decide to use for this. So I don't think making it on a big sheet is actually a great deal more economical, is it? I mean, 12 by 12 is probably the most economical if you can do it. But if all you've got is A4, then use that, and that's still not too bad either for such a strong box, which hopefully is going to be around for quite a long time. I don't think I need to show you anything else. I'll just cancel that cut because I'm not going to cut it. Don't be put off by the number of pieces on this. Once you get your instructions in front of you and you have all your pieces sorted out into base and lid, it actually becomes really easy. And as I say, there is a lot of repetition in this project, so there's not a lot to learn. I think probably in terms of the ability to do it, it is not a project for a beginner. I think the skill level is probably intermediate, so you get a lovely, nice, sharp result. But if you're a person like me who enjoys learning by doing difficult things, then why not have a go? And certainly if you can make it from A4 paper, letter-sized card is usually the cheapest we can buy, isn't it? So why not just have a trial run in that and see how it turns out? If you've got any questions when you come to cut or assemble it, please do get in touch. The instructions that you get are really detailed, but if you've got any questions, it's absolutely fine to come back to me. No question is a silly one, and I am always happy to help. You can get in touch on Etsy or Facebook, whichever you prefer, and the links to do that are in the description below. And if you've just stumbled across this video and you'd like to buy the SVG, the link to do that is in the description as well. Don't forget, if you're purchasing 3 or more SVG files at one time from the Tanglecrafts Studio Etsy shop, the link is in the description, you can use the 30 for 3 discount code to get 30% off your total purchase. This offer runs all the time, but you need to use that code when you check out. And if you haven't already joined the Tanglecrafts Studio Facebook group, join now to get any special Etsy discount codes issued to group members and to take advantage of the free SVG files I give away in the group from time to time. The link to the group is in the description. I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.